Future Avengers secrets. Let's go! Earlier in Avengers, Captain America uses the Infinity Gauntlet, but the Illuminati don't like it, and he's erased his memory, but he turns out he remembers everything, and takes them back to the future for 48 years, where they meet future versions of themselves, but then the time stone works again, and moves them further into the future in 422 years, where Cap's eye was implanted with a bomb, and Thor, Hyperion, and the Hawkeye were back in Stark's lab. Now, Cap, the Widow and the Starbrand go 5,045 years into the future and find themselves in the garden near a huge tree. The Starbrand says it's all cheating, but not entirely. Here they hear a voice from behind. There's a man coming up and saying he's so happy to see Cap live. Steve doesn't understand who he is, but the man says he's Franklin Richards, the son of Sue and Reed Richards. Franklin tells about her childhood with Natasha, and she is convinced that it is true. Cap doesn't understand how this is possible, and Franklin says he can't die, and that he wants to show something to the captain. Franklin says they were here at the time they were supposed to be. Franklin warns everybody to hold on to them as they take off. It's not just a garden, it's also a ship. They're in space, and Franklin says it's the only time that Natasha sees people living without land. She's curious what they're doing. They're all mining on gas giants. Romanov is wondering who owns all this. Franklin says all of this is owned by humans, and now they live in colonies in space. The Starbrand wants to eat a berry because he's very hungry. But it turns out to be not edible. Franklin tells him to try others. He ate one and said it tasted like chicken. Franklin understands that Cap needs answers. Cap wants to find out about Stark and Reed first, wants to know how to stop them. Franklin wants him to see this first. The world of the Avengers. The Guardians of the Avengers protect and ensure order on known universes. Now they're preparing to send the planet back to the past. It turns out to be the planet that was stopped from colliding with Earth. Franklin says he started the Stark dynasty to help get the planet out of phase. He already knows it and survived it. Cap asks how to stop them eventually. Franklin says Cap can't. The end of everything cannot be unavoidable. Franklin wants Steve to listen to him. Franklin says that the universe is made up of societies, and time is an organism of universes, and it all evolves the same way as they do. Time is not simple. Franklin says Cap can't escape fate, but Steve doesn't understand what he's talking about. The collisions of universes continue, they cannot be stopped, the end will always come, all will die. The Illuminati won't do anything because it's not possible, and because they're opposing Steve. Franklin wants Cap to think about it. Franklin asks Rogers if he remembers what the Hawkeye told him. And he's also whispering something to Steve's ear. He says it's better for Steve to ignore Clint's words, but that's up to him, and this is his fate. Natasha tells Franklin about a robot in the past who wanted to get something from him. She wanted to live. Franklin says she'll continue to live, and Steve wants to go back to the "everyone dies" theme. Franklin apologizes to him, and says they're late, and then the time stone appears again. Franklin asks the tree if Cap has heard what he told him. It turns out Groot, and Franklin understands everything. They once again find themselves in the breakdown of time-space, and this time the Starbrand and the Black Widow fall into the abyss. Steve remains alone. It moves at 51,028 years into the future.